Hello children, in the last class I was teaching about a lesson called light, very important chapter in physics it is. I already completed one particular part of the reflection, that is reflection by concave mirror. What all I told in the previous classes is what is light, what are the different properties of light, and which are the properties of light we are going to study in this particular lesson, and what is reflection of light, what are the effect of reflection, what is the nature of the image, what is the difference between real image and a virtual image, and when to get an image of diminished size, enlarged size or same size, when the image may be becoming inverted or erect. That all I told in the previous classes. Then I told you about the mirror, different types of mirror, what are the nature of the image, what is the nature of the image formed by a plane mirror, spherical mirrors, two different types of spherical mirrors, concave mirror and convex mirror, and the terminology is related to the spherical mirrors like pole of the mirror, aperture of the mirror, center of curvature, radius of curvature, focal length, principal focus, what is the relationship between radius of curvature and the focal length, and then to write the ray diagram, what are the conditions we have to require, which are the different places we can keep the object in front of the concave mirror as well as convex mirror, and identification of 6 different positions for the objects, that is infinity, beyond C, at C, between F and C, at F, and between P and F, and we have written all the ray diagrams. Ray diagram is very much important for the public examination is concerned. Now I am at a place where we have to find the uses of concave mirror. We know concave mirror is a spherical mirror. We get in concave mirror we get enlarged image, we get diminished image, everything we know. We get real image as well as virtual image. Which are the places we are finding the use of concave mirror? The first use of concave mirror is we are using the concave mirror for in the torch. You know the torch. When you see a torch, see, this is a torch. Let us imagine this is a torch. Torch it is. Inside the torch, you can see a concave mirror. There is a concave mirror there, and in front of that one, the bulb is placed. The bulb is placed here. Why bulb is placed here? Because this particular point is, see, let us imagine, this is, I erase this one, I write it here. This is a concave mirror. Imagine this is a concave mirror. This is the principal focus. At the principal focus, if you keep a bulb, the ray of light which passes to the principal focus falls on the mirror, and then they emerge parallel to the principal axis. See, this is the condition. Try to understand. When the bulb is at the principal focus, the ray of light which emerges from the principal focus falls on the mirror. And that ray of light which is emerging from the principal focus, after the reflection, they travel parallel to the principal axis. Therefore, when we hold a torch, from the torch we get a parallel beam of light. Why? In the torch we use a concave mirror, and at the principal focus of the concave mirror, the small bulb is placed, and from that bulb we get a parallel beam of light. Same concept is used in searchlights. Searchlights also, we use concave mirror. At the principal focus of the concave mirror we keep the bulb, and by that we get a parallel beam of light. Same concept, not only in torch and searchlight, we can use it in the headlights of vehicles. You have seen the all cars, the new branded cars. In that the headlights, if you see the headlight, you can see a concave mirror there. The principle of focus of the concave mirror, the bulb is placed. By that, we get a parallel beam of light emerging from the headlight of the vehicle. Therefore, the vehicle is turning, we are getting the parallel beam of light, and we can see the road very nicely. Therefore, concave mirror, the first use of concave mirror is, concave mirrors are used in what is known as torches, searchlights, and in headlights of vehicles. And we know the concave mirrors are used for what is known as the shaving mirror. This is the shaving mirror. I show you shaving mirror. This is the shaving mirror. The people who shave, they know this, the concept of this particular mirror. Shaving mirror. Shaving mirror is a concave mirror. In the case of a concave mirror, what happens? When we keep the object very close, when we keep the object between P and F, that is pole of the mirror and the principal focus, we get enlarged, virtual enlarged erect image. Therefore, in the shaving mirror, we can see our face very bright, wider image we are going to get. It is easy to shave. Therefore, shaving mirrors are concave mirrors. The same idea is used by dentist. If you go to the dentist uses a small mirror and he tells us to open the mouth and he keep the mirror near the teeth. And he can understand the tooth dental decay by keeping the mirror very close to the what is known as tooth. When any object is placed between P and F, very close to the concave mirror, we get a erect image, enlarged image, virtual image. Therefore, dentist can easily see how much part of the tooth is decayed. Then where it is decayed, then he can able to remove that decayed part and make a treatment for that particular dental cavity. And dentists use small concave mirror to get the enlarged image of the decayed tooth. The same way, for the shaving purpose also, we are going to keep the mirror very close to the, we have to keep the face very close to the mirror. Why? Because when the object is placed between P and F, then only we going to get what is known as enlarged virtual and erect image. When we keep very far, for example, this is the shaving mirror. If I keep it very far away from me, I get the inverted image. Therefore, whenever you sit in a table to eat food, or whenever you sit in a table to take soup, see the spoon. Keep the spoon very close to you. You can see the bigger face of yours. But when you take the spoon away from you, you can see the inverted image. Why? Because when the object is placed beyond F, we get always what is known as the real image. Real images are inverted image. Spoon is a concave. In a spoon acts as a concave mirror. Right? The first thing is the concave mirror is used in torches, searchlights, and even in what is known as headlights of vehicles. There, the bulb is placed at the principal focus. By that we get a parallel beam of light. Therefore, particularly in vehicles, we can see the road. Because the ray of light is parallel, we can see the road longer, any distance we can able to see. The same way, the spherical mirrors are used in the shaving mirror. But in the shaving mirror, where to keep the object, where to keep the face? The face should be kept between P and F. Same way, in the case of what is known as dentist also has to keep the mirror very close to the tooth. Why? Because when the object is placed between P and F, close to the mirror, then only we get the enlarged image and the erect image. And one more industrial use of concave mirror is, concave mirrors are used in what is known as solar furnaces. Solar furnaces means huge mirrors, huge concave mirrors are used, and by that the sun rays falls on them. The sun rays are parallel beam of light to the principal mirror, to the principal axis. They all converge at a point. That point is called the principal focus. Here they keep the metal. They keep the metal to be melted. For example, you wanted to melt a metal called copper. You have to keep the copper at the principal focus of a large mirror, and this mirror is called the solar furnace. Their sun's energy, parallel beam of light to the principal axis, they convert at the principal focus. this particular point, large amount of heat is produced. That heat is sufficient to melt metals. Therefore, this particular concept is used in metallurgy, where the solar energy is utilized to melt metals, and we get a very large amount of temperature around 4000 degrees centigrade. And this type of device is called solar furnace. I repeat, concave mirrors are used in torches, searchlights, headlights of vehicles, and it is used as a shaving mirror, and it is used by dentists, and it is used in the solar furnace. Now for your reference notes is concerned, I written this uses of concave mirror here, uses of concave mirror. You have to write this. Concave mirror is used in torches, searchlights and headlights of vehicles. Here you have to understand one, where we have to keep the bulb to get the parallel beam of light. The bulb should be placed at the principal focus of the concave mirror which is used in torches, searchlights and headlights of vehicles. Whenever you see in next time your car headlights, you see the headlight, behind the headlight there is a concave mirror, and at the principal focus of that concave mirror, the bulb is fixed. And it is used as a shading mirror, and concave mirrors are used by dentists, concave mirror is used as solar furnaces. We completed the part of concave mirror. Concave mirror is a spherical mirror in which the reflecting surface is curved inwards. What is aperture, what is the pole of the mirror, what is the center of curvature, radius of curvature, focal length, which are the different places we can keep the object, and ray diagram, and the uses of concave mirror is over. Now the another spherical mirror, that is convex mirror. Convex mirror. Convex mirror. See, how to write the convex mirror? Very simple, as usual. Try to understand, in this chapter only you are going to learn about the Cartesian sign convention. Means, while solving a problem, we have to solve the problem of optics. This is called, anything which is related to light is called the optics. We have to write in a graph sheet. Graph is called coordinate system. It was identified by a scientist called, mathematician called Rene Descartes. Therefore, it is called Cartesian system. In the Cartesian system, the reflecting surfaces should be kept as what is known as in the left direction. Convention it is. Say in India, while driving a car, we drive at the left side. We drive in the left side of the road. And in the vehicle, the steering is in the right side of the vehicle, right? But in other countries it is different. Why? It is a convention. Convention means we made a practice, sampradaya. Like that, Cartesian sign convention, according to the Cartesian sign convention, it is always advised to keep the reflecting surface the left side of the origin. By that, what happens now? I wanted to write the convex mirror. Therefore, what I do is, I put a mark. The mark is, I made it as C. C is the center of curvature. I make the C as center of curvature. Take the compass. Now, while writing the convex mirror, I write like this. I make the arc like this. And now which is the reflecting surface? Reflecting surface should be the left side, because reflecting surface is bulged outwards and it is facing the left side. Right? Left side means I am facing this, my left side it is. Graph sheet is type. See, this is the painted surface. Painted surface. And this is the reflecting surface. And this is the aperture. ML is the aperture of the mirror. And the midpoint of the mirror is called the pole of the mirror. This is the pole of the mirror, P. When I join this pole of the mirror and the center of curvature, I get the principal axis. I get the principal axis. This is the principal axis. I extend Why? Because the reflecting surface is this side. Don't forget, this is the reflecting surface. It is a convention. It is not that must. To solve problem, it is must. Right? It is facing left side and center of curvature is here. Now, the first thing what you have to understand is convex mirror is a spherical mirror in which the reflecting surface is bulged outwards. In the convex mirror, center of curvature lies behind the mirror and center of this P and C. P is the pole of the mirror, C is the center of curvature. The midpoint of P and C is the principal focus. Therefore, one can understand principal focus is behind the mirror. Principal focus is the behind the mirror. It is behind the mirror. Right. Now, this is the convex mirror. Then what is a convex mirror? Convex mirror is a spherical mirror in which the reflecting surface is bulged outwards. In the case of a convex mirror, center of curvature lies behind the mirror. And in the case of a convex mirror, which are the positions we can keep the object? Which are the positions we can keep the object means? The first position is at infinity. It is common for all spherical mirrors because at infinity means when the object is at infinite distance, we get the parallel beam of light to the principal axis. Therefore, the first position is at infinity. The next position is we have to keep the object somewhere here. In front of the mirror only we have to keep the object. We can't keep the object here because it is behind the mirror. In front of the mirror means where all we keep, we can have only one point, that is P. There is no F, there is no C. Therefore, the second position is anywhere between infinity to P. Infinity to P. Anywhere. Therefore, second position is between infinity and P. P stands for pole of the mirror. Any place you can keep. Therefore, we have only two positions for the object in the case of a convex mirror. But in the case of a concave mirror, we had more number of positions for the object. Why? Because the C and F were front of the reflecting surface. Here, the P and C and F are behind the mirror. It is not in front of the reflecting surface. Therefore, the concluding part is convex mirror is a spherical mirror. In the convex mirror, the reflecting surface is bulged outwards. In the convex mirror, the center of curvature or the principal focus is behind the mirror. In the case of a convex mirror, we can find two positions for the object to be placed. One is at infinity, another point is from between infinity to pole of the mirror. And we have to write the ray diagram for these two positions. To write the ray diagram, we require the conditions. Conditions are four. Conditions are same for all spherical mirrors. Four conditions. What is the first condition? The ray of light which is parallel to the principal focus, parallel to the principal axis, always passes to the principal focus. First one, the ray of light parallel to the principal axis always passes to the principal focus after the reflection. Second one is ray of light passes to the principal focus after the reflection emerges parallel to the principal axis. Third one is ray of light passes to the center of curvature after the reflection follows the same path. The third one is when a ray of light is incident to the principal axis obliquely at the pole of the mirror, it follows the laws of reflection. Four conditions are there, but the positions are only two. Four conditions, two positions. It is easy when we compare with the concave mirror, but in the public examination, majority of the time they give concave mirror because we have 6 positions. Here we have only 2 positions. Now we are going to write what is first we write the condition, then we write the ray diagram. Before writing the ray diagram or finding the chart, we have to understand which are the conditions required for the reflection of light in the case of a spherical mirror. Four condition. I already taught in the case of a concave mirror. Now I am talking about convex mirror. See, the first condition is, let us imagine this is a convex mirror. Reflecting surface is facing the left side. And this is the center of curvature and this is the principal focus. Condition number one. Conditions are same for even for concave as well as convex mirror. Ray of light parallel to the principal axis. This is the front of the mirror and this is the behind the mirror. Always object should be placed in front of the mirror. The ray of light which is parallel to the principal axis appear to diverge from the principal focus. See, the ray comes like this, falls on a mirror and it diverges. When you extend the divergent beam behind the mirror, it comes and passes to the principal focus. Therefore, what they tell is, the ray of light which is parallel to the principal axis appear to diverge from the principal focus. Appear to diverge. It looks like it is diverging from the principal focus. That is the first condition. Therefore, you have to remember, same thing. Even in the case of a concave mirror, a ray of light parallel to the principal axis always converges at a point called principal focus. Here, appear to diverge. Always remember, children, concave means convergence. Convex means divergence. It diverges, appear to diverge from the principal focus. That is the condition number one. Second condition is, the ray of light incident to the mirror passing through the principal focus. See, imagine this is the incident ray. It is appearing to passing through the principal focus. After the reflection, emerges as parallel to the principal axis. The ray which is incident to the mirror, coinciding the principal focus, after the reflection emerges out parallel to the principal axis. That is the condition number one. Condition number two. Condition number one and condition number two are converses. Here, parallel appear to diverge from principal focus. The ray of light appears to passes through the principal focus, emerges out parallel to the principal axis. Third condition is, the ray of light is incidenting on the mirror, passing through the center of curvature, after the reflection follows the same path. When any ray which is incident to the mirror and that is going to pass through the center of curvature, it after the reflection follows the same path. Therefore, we can't distinguish between which one is the incident ray and which one is the reflected ray, because both are same ray but the directions are different. Incident ray is towards the mirror and the reflected ray is away from the mirror. And fourth condition is same as in the case of a concave mirror. In the case of a concave mirror, what I told you is, the ray of light incident to the mirror, oblique to the principal axis, at the pole of the mirror. After the reflection, it follows the law of reflection. Angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Therefore, the conditions required to draw a ray diagram is same for both convex and concave mirror. But we have to always understand this. Concave mirror means we always tell converging. Convex mirror, we tell that diverging. That is the difference between concave and convex mirror, but the conditions are same. Four conditions. The next is regarding the chart. Chart already I told once in the class. The chart is like this. We can have two different positions in front of the mirror to keep the object. One is object is at infinity. Second one is object is anywhere between infinity and pole of the mirror. When the object is at infinity, the ray of light should be parallel. When the ray of light should be parallel, they all appear to diverge from the principal focus. Therefore, we are getting the image behind the mirror at F. Because F is behind the mirror, therefore we are going to get the image behind the mirror. Since it is at infinity, image is highly diminished. Very small image we are going to get. And since the image is formed behind the mirror, we call that as virtual image and erect image. Virtual images are always erect image. Right? The second condition is object is placed anywhere between infinity and pole of the mirror. Here also we are going to get the image behind the mirror between P and F. And the image is diminished. And the nature of the image is virtual and erect. By this what you understood is convex mirror is one such mirror. Here always we get diminished image. In public examination they ask a question. Name a spherical mirror. It always produces diminished image. You can't get an enlarged image in the case of a convex mirror. Always image is diminished. That mirror is convex mirror. Convex mirror, we always get diminished image. In convex mirror, always we get virtual and erect image. Virtual images are always erect image. Therefore, in the public examination, they can find three questions. Name a spherical mirror in which always we get diminished image. Answer is convex mirror. Name a spherical mirror in which always we get a virtual image. Answer is convex mirror. Name a spherical mirror in which always we get erect images. Answer is convex mirror. But in the case of a concave mirror, we get real image as well as virtual image. We get diminished image as well as enlarged image or the same size. But in the case of a convex mirror, it is clear, it is confirmed, no doubt at all. Convex mirror is a mirror, it always produces diminished image, virtual image, erect image. That has to be verified by writing the ray diagram. We are going to write the ray diagram to verify this. Is it going to produce virtual image or not? That we can verify by writing the ray diagram. To write the ray diagram, we have to follow conditions. How many conditions are there? 4 conditions are there. With how many positions are there? For the object, only 2 positions are there. We start writing the ray diagram for convex mirror. The first position of the object. The position of the object is at infinity. At infinity. First position is the object is at infinity. What I do is now you have to start writing along with me. Because writing the ray diagram is a skill part. Writing the ray diagram is going to fetch you marks. And you should not say that I write afterwards. No, you have to write along with me. Why? Because once you write along with me, you can understand which are the points I give emphasis. Right? The first thing is, we are going to keep the reflecting surface in the left side. Right? Therefore, I mark a point here. To write the ray diagram for the convex mirror, you should have both sides placed. You have to write in the middle. You should have a place in the left as well as in the right. See, this is center of curvature. By keeping the center of curvature as center, using the compass, draw an arc. Draw an arc. Now if you have written concave mirror, you can understand the difference between writing the concave and convex mirror. In the case of a concave, I have written like this. In the case of a convex, I have written from here. Right? Now I wanted to make this arc as a mirror. Which mirror? The mirror is convex. This is the painted surface I am marking. Therefore, the reflecting surface is facing the left. The reflecting surface is bulged outwards. And this is the aperture. Mn is the aperture of the mirror. And midpoint of the mirror, midpoint of the mirror, if you say the midpoint here, the midpoint of the mirror is called the pole of the mirror. This is P. When you join the pole of the mirror and the center of curvature, you get the principal axis. It is a straight line. A straight line which passes through P and C is called the principal axis. See, this is the principal axis. I extend this side. You can understand why I am going to extend this, because the object is placed in front of the mirror. Right, this is principal axis. This is the pole of the mirror and this is the center of curvature. Midpoint of the pole of the mirror and the center of curvature is the principal focus. Principal focus is here. There is no need to write the exact position of the midpoint. Approximately you can write because the scale, to the scale we are not going to write this. See, 3 points are there. We can easily understand the principal focus and the center of curvature are behind the mirror. Where we have to keep the object? Object should be kept in front of the mirror. The first thing is object is placed at infinity. Whenever the object is placed at infinity, whenever the object is at infinity, we get the parallel beam of light to the principal axis. All the rays of light which are coming from the object which is kept at infinity, we are getting the parallel beam of light. Parallel to the principal axis. Parallel to the principal axis. I write one ray, it is parallel to the principal axis. I write one more ray. I can write how many rays I wanted to write. It is all according to my interest is concerned. I write this side also. All these rays are parallel to the principal axis. I written 4 rays coming from the object parallel to the principal axis. All of them are parallel. Arrow represents parallel as well as incident. These rays which are parallel to the principal axis, according to the condition given for writing the ray diagram, a ray of light which is parallel to the reflection, the principal axis, appear to diverge from the principal focus. Therefore, I should write, see I write in a different color, by that you can understand. The blue color is for the incident and red is for the reflected. Therefore, what I do is, see this ray has to diverge. This ray came, fell on this particular reflecting surface. Now it has to diverge. It appears to diverge, therefore you have to keep the scale like this. It appears to diverge from the principal focus. Whenever you extend the line behind the mirror, you have to write dotted line. Therefore this ray went like that. Now I wanted to mark for this ray. What I do is I keep the scale like this. It is going to diverge from the principal focus. See, now I am extending to behind the mirror. I write dotted line. This ray emerged like this. Now I want to write for this ray. What should I do? I keep the scale like this. P, this is the point, and F. It is going to diverge from the principal focus. It is going to diverge from the principal focus. When I wanted to extend behind the mirror, I should go by dotted line. It is coming like this. If I wanted to extend this, see, this is diverging like this. It appears to diverge from the principal focus. These red lines are reflected rays. Blue lines are incident rays. Incident ray is parallel to the principal axis. And all the red lights appear to diverge from principal focus. Now imagine, all these reflected rays are coincided at a point. Which is the point? Principal focus. Therefore, when the object is placed at infinity, image is formed behind the mirror. It is formed behind the mirror at F, because F is behind the mirror, right? Then what is the nature of the image? Very simple. When the image is formed behind the mirror, it is virtual. It is virtual. Virtual images are erect images. Virtual images are erect images, and the image is a point. All line is going to fall on a point. Therefore, it is highly diminished, or a point diminished. You write diminished. It is diminished. Therefore, when the object is placed at infinity, image is going to form that F. Where is the F? F is the behind the mirror. Since it is the behind the mirror, image is virtual. Virtual images are erect images and it looks like a point. This is the first ray diagram. Only two ray diagrams for the convex mirror and the first ray diagram when the object is placed at infinity. The second ray diagram where the position of the object is anywhere between infinity and P. P means pole of the mirror. Therefore, the object is placed between infinity and P. P stands for what? Pole of the mirror. We start writing the ray diagram. The first step is we have to mark a point. Now you have to write along with me totally 6 ray diagram of the concave mirror and 2 ray diagram of the convex mirror. If you practice, 3 marks is guarantee for you in the public examination. C is the center of curvature. With the C as center, draw an arc. Draw an arc using compass. Draw an arc, right? Now make this arc as a convex mirror. Convex mirror is a type of mirror in which the reflecting surface is bulged outwards or a curved outwards. This is the reflecting surface. It is bulged outwards. And Mn stands for aperture of the mirror. And we have what is known as the center of the aperture, that is called the pole of the mirror, P. If a straight line passes through both C and P, is called what is known as the principal axis. Now this is the principal axis. Principal axis is a straight line which passes through both C and P. Right? And midpoint of PC is the principal focus. Principal focus. This is the basic. Right? Now we think, where is the object? Object is between infinity and P. P is here, somewhere infinity, I keep it here. What I do is, I keep the object here. Anywhere I can think. Anywhere between infinity and P. This is the object. Object, I name the object as AB. Right? This is the object. To write a ray diagram, we have to take the conditions. In the first ray diagram, I have taken parallel beam of light. Why? Because the ray of light coming from the object which is kept at infinity should be parallel to the principal axis. Here, I select 2 conditions. One condition is the ray of light which is parallel to the principal axis. Another one is the ray of light which passes to the center of curvature. A ray of light which passes to the center of curvature always follows the same path. Therefore, only one ray. Why we select that particular condition? The ray of light which passes to the center of curvature follows the same path after the reflection, because we don't get confusion there. Where is the incident ray, where is the reflected ray? Both are same. Only we have to put 2 arrow marks. One is for the incident, another for reflect. To reduce the confusion, we always select that condition. We can write any condition. Right? Now I write a ray of light. See? Ray of light parallel to the principal axis. From AB, there is a ray which is parallel to the principal axis. What condition tells? It has to, because it is a convex mirror, it has to diverge. It is appear to diverge from the principal focus. Therefore, I should keep the scale like this. Appear to diverge. In front of the mirror, I should write in complete line. Behind the mirror, I should write in the dotted line format. Appear to diverge. This ray appear to diverge from the principal focus. Simple it is, right? The next ray have changed the color. Next ray is passing through the center of curvature. Center of only one ray. See, I keep like this. Only one ray. This ray comes here. It is directed towards the center of curvature. Directed towards the center of curvature. Behind the mirror, I write what is known as dotted lines. I write the dotted line. Front of the mirror it is straight, right? After the reflection follows the same path. It comes like this and goes like this. That's all. Only one way. Therefore, if I mark this as incident, then it is reflected. Therefore, try to understand. This is the reflected ray, right? It is appear to diverge from the reflected principal focus. And this is also reflected ray. These two reflected rays, they coincide here. They intersect here. Therefore, here we are getting the object. The object is somewhere here. I write the object. Object is here. Object is here. This is A dash, B dash. Now see, where is the object? It is behind the mirror. See the size of the object. Object is bigger. Image is smaller. And the image is formed between P and F. But P and F is behind the mirror. Therefore, when the object is placed anywhere between infinity and P, image is going to form behind the mirror between what is known as P and F. And see the image, since it is behind the mirror, it should be virtual. Virtual images are erect images. See the size of the image. It is smaller than the size of the object, therefore it is diminished. Therefore, the concluding part is, in the convex mirror is one type of mirror, it always produces diminished image. It always produces erect image. It always produces virtual image. Name the type of mirror, it always produces virtual image, convex. Name the type of mirror which always produces diminished image, convex. Name the type of mirror which always produces erect image, convex. Right? Now the image is here. Now we have to write the conclusion part. Object is placed between infinity and P. Where is the image? Image is behind the mirror. Image is what? Where? Behind the mirror. Behind the mirror. But we can identify the position behind the mirror between P and F. Between P and F. Nature. We don't get confusion in the case of a convex mirror. Write the nature of the image formed by a convex mirror. Always you can write virtual. Always you can write erect. Always you can write diminished. See, this nature is common for convex mirror. Convex mirror, the nature is always same. Virtual, erect, diminished. Therefore, in the public examination, they don't give because students are by heart. Virtual, erect, diminished is the image, nature of the image found by convex mirror. If it is a concave mirror only, we get all different types of variations. We can get real image, we can get virtual image, everything we can get. Here always we get virtual image, erect image and diminished image. Now I completed so far ray diagram of the concave, ray diagram of the convex. Therefore, it is your duty to practice. This week's test, definitely I am going to give 2 ray diagrams. You have to practice, right? You have to practice because ray diagram is a must for the public examination. Practice. See the video again and again and practice the ray diagram. Assignment number 120. First one, write any 3 uses of concave mirrors. Second one, what is the principal focus of a convex mirror? Where it is situated in the principal axis. Third one, what is the nature of image formed by a convex mirror? Fourth one, draw the ray diagram when the object is at infinity in front of a convex mirror. Fifth one, draw the ray diagram when the object is placed between P and infinite position in front of a convex mirror. Thank you.